everyone, it's me, Terri, of the Yarnjoy podcast. Welcome back to another episode of Tuesday Tidbits. And so I was thinking that maybe for Tuesday Tidbits for the next few weeks, I could do a series, just call it Crochet with Me, and we can work on this project together. A few years ago, you might have remembered the Red Heart putting out these yarn this line of yarn called amigurumi. Each one makes two, and it was usually there was like 3 or 4 colors in it, and it was all wrapped up like a disc. And on the label it showed what you could make out of this amount of yarn that they gave you. Okay, so for example, this one is supposed to make 2 I think they're flamingos. I got these at Ollie's, as you can see, and they put the price tag over, see, I was trying to get it off, but they put the price tag over the picture, but I believe it's 2, I guess they're ostriches, not ostriches, flamingos, yeah. The pattern is not on the label. Inside the label, it tells you to go to yarnspirations.com and get the free pattern, okay? So anyway, my daughter-in-law picked these up for me over a year or so ago. And so she got me this one, and then I also have this one that's supposed to make llamas. I just think the colors are really pretty. And like I said, each one is supposed to make 2. This one, I believe, is supposed to be unicorns. I think that's what that's supposed to be. Okay. And then the one I'm going to be working on today is this one, which is supposed to make these 2 dinosaurs. And so I decided that I would make this green dinosaur with the spots. Okay. And I've already taken the yarn apart and I rolled it up into balls, so that way it would be easier to work with. Okay. So push those to the side. So for this one dinosaur I'm going to make, it looks like I need 2 of the colors. I need the green and the blue, okay? And then so the yellow and the orange I could set aside, and that would be for the other dinosaur, of course. And like I said, you look on the inside of the label, it tells you where to go. And I will link the pattern down below in the description box as well, where you can print out the free pattern. I did go over to Yarnspirations and I printed out a copy of the pattern for myself, okay? And I'm going to be putting this and we be referring to this as we go along, okay? Okay, and then also my supplies, I got I picked out a yarn. A hook, crochet hook. This says that this yarn is a size 1. So it's a very thin yarn. I don't know if I'd call that a 1. It looks more like a 2, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, you don't have to use this yarn. You can just print off the pattern, and then you can use whatever yarn you want. You could use worsted weight yarn. Just make sure that you use a hook that you feel comfortable using. Preferably, since it is amigurumi, try to use a hook that is smaller than what the hook tells you on the worsted weight yarn. I mean, just for me personally, I like to make amigurumis with at least a 3.75 or smaller hook. In fact, a lot of times I will use a 3.5 hook millimeter if I'm going to be making amigurumi. That's with worsted weight yarn or 3 weight yarn, which is sport weight or DK weight. This is, like I said, they said it's a size 1 yarn. The pattern actually calls for a 2.25 millimeter hook. I don't have one that small. Well, I have one smaller than that, but I don't seem to have a 2.25. But I just kind of took my hooks and I hooked it on to the yarn, seeing which one is comfortable enough for this size, and I'm going to go with a 2.5 millimeter hook. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a pretty small project. Okay, so you need your hook, whatever hook you're going to be using, a pair of scissors, of course, a marker, a stitch marker of some sort. I really like these just plastic basic, looks like safety pin hooks. I mean hooks, like safety pins, stitch markers. I've even used bobby pins before, works great. Okay, and then of course a yarn needle to weave in your ends, and some stuffing. I have I grabbed a handful here just to show you the stuffing, but I have a whole bag off to the side here that I will, if I need more than this, I can get. Okay, I can get some more. Let's go on. I'm going to be starting with the body. And so on the, since I'm going to be doing the green and blue dinosaur from the pattern, it is called the spotted dinosaur body. And so some of the parts, of course, like the tail, is going to be the same whether or not you're making whichever version of dinosaur that you're making. Basically, the body is the only one that's different. Yeah. So anyway, so I go to my instructions. I see where it says spotted dinosaur body, and it says beginning at the bottom of the body with A, and if I'm doing the color A for this pattern is the lime color, the green, okay? That's the main color. And so it says with your main color, or A, which is the lime for me, it says make an adjustable ring. Okay, so that's a magic ring. If you don't know how to make a magic ring, then you can just chain 2. Yeah, put a slip knot on your hook, chain 2, and then work into the first chain, and the second chain from your hook, and use that as your ring. You can do that. I'm going to go ahead and make the magic ring because I do like using that technique. So I take the yarn and I bring it from behind my hand, okay, and I'm just going to be using 2 fingers, okay. So so it looks like that, okay. And the yarn that is behind my hand, I bring it under and forward, okay, and then I just make sure that I cross over that first line of yarn that was on my fingers. I make an X, I cross over it, and I just hold it there with my thumb so it doesn't go anywhere. I take my other 2 fingers back behind, and I hold that working yarn, okay. Now I'm going to look forward, bend my hand forward, and I want to put my hook underneath the first strand, and I want to hook that second one and pull it underneath that first one. See that? On my hook, okay? And then I take my working yarn, and then I do a chain 1 around that loop that was on my hook. And then I hold that chain, and I can take my fingers out, get ready to start crocheting. You can see how this beginning tail is through that loop that I made. I want to keep that like that. So I want to hold it, pinch it between my middle finger and my thumb, so that way I know that it's still crossed over and it stays in place. And then I start working into this ring, okay? So it says to do 6 single crochets into the ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, okay? And then I take the beginning tail and I pull it to draw up that ring, just like that. Okay, now I'm assuming, I'm not teaching the basic stitches in this video. I'm assuming that you already know how to do the basic stitches and that you're just crocheting this project along with me. Okay, so I'm not going to slip stitch or close up the ring. This pattern is worked in continuous round, so I'm ready to go on to round 2. It does say you can put it says place a stitch marker in the last single crochet worked to indicate the end of the round. Well, just the way I like to do it is, or how I've always done it, so I might as well keep doing it like that because that's how I'm used to doing it, is I always put the stitch marker in the first stitch of the round and not the last stitch of the round. But it doesn't matter. You can do it either way. Just keep doing it the same way each time. Okay, so I'm going to be going on. Round 2 says work 2 single crochets in each of the next 6 stitches. So that means I'm going to be working the first 2 single crochets means it's an increase, and so I'm going to be working an increase in the very first stitch of the 6 that I made. Okay, that's stitch number 1. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do 2 single crochets into that stitch, making an increase. 1 and 2. That's how I like to count it. when it's in the same stitch. Okay, now I'm going to get my stitch marker, and I made 2 stitches, so I need to make sure that I put the stitch marker in stitch number 1, not that, you know, because I just made 2 stitches. Okay, stitch number 1. So that's my first stitch of the round. Okay, so now I'm going to go on, continuing on with stitch number 3 and 4 is going to be in the next stitch. So 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6 in the next one. We should have 12 stitches at the end of this round. 7 and 8, and 9 and 10 in the next stitch. 9 and 10, and the last 2 stitches, 11 and 12, is the last stitch of the round. Okay, so you can take your beginning tail and you can pull on it to continuously tighten it up to try to close up that circle. Okay. Okay, so now that's round 2. Round 3, we're going to do single crochet in 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. And we're going to repeat that all the way around, okay? So at the end of this round, we're going to have we'll have 18 single crochets. I took my marker out of the first stitch so I can work into it, and it says 1 single crochet in the next stitch, which is the first one. So there's my 1 single crochet. Now I'm going to put my marker in that stitch because that's the first stitch of the round. Okay, and the next stitch we're going to do an increase, which is 2 single crochets. So this is going to be stitch number 2 and stitch number 3 in the same stitch, and then we're going to repeat that all the way around. So we're going to have 4 in the next stitch, and then 5 and 6 in the next stitch, 5 and 6, and then 7 in the next stitch, and then 8 and 9 in the next stitch, and then 10 in the next stitch, and then 11 and 12 in the next one, 11 and 12, and then 13 in the next stitch, 14 and 15 in the next stitch, and then 16 in the next stitch, and then stitch number 17 and 18 in the next stitch, and that's the end of round 3. So now we have 18 stitches. Okay, now I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to take my yarn, my yarn needle, and I'm going to first pull out a loop here so I don't lose my stitch. I'm going to turn it over to the back side, and I'm going to go ahead and take this beginning tail, and I'm going to put it on my needle, and I'm just going to kind of secure that adjustable ring by going under some stitches here in the center, securing it so then it will not come, that middle, circle won't get loose and try to open up. Okay, I just put it under some stitches there. This will be on the inside of the work, so it doesn't matter how messy or neat it is. And then I'm just going to cut the tail a little bit short. It doesn't have to be totally weaved in because it's going to be on the inside of the work. Okay, now I'm going to put my hook back in the loop, and I'm going to continue on to round 4. So round 4, we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then we'll do an increase in the next stitch, which it will be 2 stitches in 1. And we'll do that 6 times, and at the end of round 4, we will have 24 stitches. Take my marker out and go ahead and put 1 single crochet in that next stitch. That's where the marker was. And then I'm going to replace the marker into that new stitch we just put in there, because that's the first stitch of the round. And then in the second stitch, we're going to also do a single stitch. So that's stitch number 2. And then the next one is we'll do an increase. So stitch number 3 and stitch number 4 will go into that one. Okay. Then we'll repeat that around. So stitch number 5 is a single. Stitch number 6 is a single. And then stitch number 7 and 8 is an increase, which will be in the same stitch. And then 9 is a single. And then 10 is a single. And then 11 and 12 will be in the next stitch. And then 13 is a single. 14 is a single. And then 15 and 16 is the increase. And then 17 is a single, and then 18 is a single, and then 19 and 20 will go in the next stitch. 21 is a single, 22 is a single, and then 23 and 24 is an increase. And I'm sorry if I'm going really fast. I tend to crochet pretty fast, but you can, you know, get your repeats and then pause the video and, you know, and then restart it when you are at the same point as me. Or there is where you can go in the settings at the bottom of this video. There should be like a little gear where you can go into settings there right under the video, and you can actually change the video speed to either be slower or faster, which is can be a very convenient tool there that you can use. Okay, so that was round 4. Round 5, we're going to end up with 30 stitches when we finish this round. And now we're going to do a single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And then we'll do our increase in that 4th stitch. And we'll do that all the way around, okay? So take the marker out and let's start round 5. So single crochet in the next 3 stitches. I'm going to do 1 stitch, that's stitch number 1, and I'll put my marker back. Okay, and then stitch number 2 is a single. Stitch number 3 is a single. And then stitch 4 and 5 is an increase, which will be in 1 stitch. So 4 and 5. And then we'll have 6 is a single, 7 is a single, 8 is a single, and then 9 and 10 is an increase, okay? And then 11 is a single, 12 is a single, 13 is a single, and then 14 and 15 is the increase. 16 is a single, 17 is a single, 18 is a single, and then 19 and 20 is an increase. And then 21 is a single, 22 is a single, 23 is a single, and then 24 and 25 is the increase. Okay, and one more repeat. So 26 is a single, 27 is a single, 28 is a single, and then 29 and 30 will go into the last stitch. Now we're back at the marker again. Okay, so that was round 5. Round 6, we're going to do another series of increases. So then at the end of round 6, we're going to have 36 stitches at the end of this round. So I'll take out my marker, and it says single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then we'll do an increase in that 5th stitch, okay? So let's do the first stitch and put our marker back. Okay, so that was stitch number 1. Stitch number 2 is a single. Stitch number 3 is a single. Stitch number 4 is a single. And then we're going to do 5 and 6 for an increase in the next stitch. So 5 and 6. Okay. And then 7 is a single, 8 is a single, 9 is a single, 10 is a single. And then 11 and 12 will be an increase. 11 and 12. Okay. 13 is a single, 14 is a single, 15 is a single, and 16 is a single. And then 17 and 18 will be an increase in the same stitch. So 17 and 18. Okay. My ball is rolling around. Okay. 19 is a single. 20 is a single. 21 is a single. 22 is a single. And then we're going to do 23 and 24 is an increase in the same stitch. 25 is a single. 26 is a single, 27 is a single, 28 is a single, and then 29 and 30 is an increase, so 29 and 30 in the same stitch. And then 31 is a single, 32 is a single, 33 is a single, and then 34 and 34 is a single. Okay, now we do our increase. 35 and 36. 35 and 36. Okay, is the increase. Now we have 36 stitches. Now in the next round, we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to make the opening for where we will be crocheting our tail. Okay, so I need to turn the page on my instruction sheet here, or pattern sheet. Okay, so we're now ready to do round number 7. So we take the marker out, and it says 2 single crochets in the next stitch. So that means that's an increase. So in the very next stitch, we're going to put 1 single crochet, and then we're going to put our marker there in that stitch. And then in that same stitch, we're going to do our second single crochet. Okay. Oop. Lost my hook, lost the yarn. Let's do that again. Okay, so I have stitch number 1 and stitch number 2 both in that first stitch. Okay, the marker is in stitch number 1. Okay, and then it says to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, wait, 7 and 8. Okay, I chained 8, and then it says skip the next 8 stitches on your circle. And after you skip those 8 stitches, you're going to do 2 single crochets in the very next stitch. Okay, so I'm going to start counting in my first free open stitch I haven't worked in yet. That's stitch number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 stitches. So in the very next stitch, stitch number 9, I'm going to do 2 single crochets into that one stitch. So 1 and 2. Okay, so this chain loop right here is going to make a hole. See that? And that hole is where we're going to start working out of when we make when we add the tail. Okay, so going back to the instructions, it said, let's see, chain 8, we did that. We skipped the 8 stitches, and then it says 2 single crochets in the next stitch, which we did. And then it says single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So just singles in the next 4. So 1 is a single, 2 is a single, 3 is a single, 4 is a single. Okay? And it says to do that sequence, it's in brackets in the pattern. So that means that 2 single crochets in the next stitch, single crochet in the next 4 stitches. We have to do that twice. Well, we just did it one time. So now we got to do it again. So 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2. And then 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Okay, and then it says go on. So, I mean, well, I'm saying go on. So 2 single crochets in the next stitch. So 1 and 2 in the same stitch. And then it says single crochet in the next 12, in the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then here's some more brackets. So this is going to be another repeat thing. And it says 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and we do that 2 times, and that should get us back to our marker. Okay, so 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then a single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then repeat that. So 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then single crochet in the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, oops, lost my hook. Lost the stitch. 2, and then 3 and 4, and that will take us back 3 and then 4. They're all singles. Okay, and that gets us back to our marker. Okay, so now we should have 34 stitches all the way around and a chain 8 space. Okay, that was the end of round 8. Let's go on to round 9, and we're going to take care of this chain space and turn it back into a row or a round that has single crochets all the way around. Okay, so take my marker out, and it says to single crochet in each stitch and chain all the way around, and at the end of the round we should have 42 stitches. Okay, so single crochet in the first one, so that's stitch number 1, and I'm going to put my marker in there. Something just slid off my desk, if you heard that. Okay, so that was stitch number 1. Stitch number 2, and we're just going to do 1 single crochet, in all these stitches around. Okay, so I did the first 2, and now we're to this chain. So I'm going to do the 8 stitches in the chain, okay, working in each stitch of the chain. So 1, 2, a little fiddly, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and so with 8, those 8 I just made plus the 2 that I began with, so 2 plus 8, that's 10. So number 11 should be the first single crochet after the chain. Okay, and now don't skip it, because there is one stitch, the single crochet, the first single crochet is right there. Don't think that you're going to go into this one, because as you can see, I did that and I had to pull it out because I skipped that stitch. I wouldn't end up with 42 like I was supposed to. And so I can't forget that first single crochet. It kind of gets, it's easy to forget that one because it looks kind of funny. But anyway, so this is stitch number 11 going into that chain. Not chain, the very first single crochet there. See that? Now I'm going to go into the next one. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, just doing one single crochet all the way around. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. Okay, so I have 42 stitches. If you end up with 42 stitches, counting the ones you worked in the chain, then you are right where you need to be. If you ended up with 41 stitches because you didn't catch that first single crochet there right past the chain, you can always fudge it just a little bit and go ahead and use it, put an extra stitch in that last one to end up with 42 stitches. You can do that, okay? Okay, amigurumi, amigurumi is pretty forgiving as far as if you need to fudge it and add a stitch here and there to end up with the right amount of stitches that you need, okay? It's just very important, or usually it's very important to, depending on the pattern, to end up with the exact stitches that you need, okay, for each round. Okay, so that was round number 8. We are at 42 stitches around in our project. If you go on to the rest of the pattern, or the next part of the pattern, it says rounds 9 through 11. So that's 3 rounds, 9, 10, and 11. It's just one single crochet in each stitch all the way around. We're not increasing or anything. You're going to be 42 stitches each time, okay? And you're going to do it 3 times around. And I'm looking at my video, and my video is already over 30 minutes already. And I try to have Tuesday Tidbits videos not extremely long. So I'm going to stop right there for now and give you some homework. So for your homework, do rounds 9, 10, and 11, okay? And get those 3 rounds done, okay, before the next video. So in the next video, it will be the title will say part Tuesday Tidbits, Dinosaur something. I don't know exactly how I'm going to say it, but it'll have part 2 on there, okay? And that will be coming out next week on Tuesday Tidbits. And I will see you back here for that, and we will continue on with this dinosaur project, okay? Thanks so much for watching and for crocheting along with me, or just keeping me company and watching my video as I am making this little dinosaur. Come back tomorrow and we will have crafting with friends. I'll sit down and you'll see my face and I'll sit down and we'll have a chat about what I did over the weekend, and what else is going on, and oh, and I will show you how much I've gotten done on that German shells blanket. So come back tomorrow and we will have another visit with Crafting with Friends. So until then, have a great evening, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.